Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome to another edition of Blogs with Boilon Friday. Now, before we get into it, and it's going to be a bit of a big one, there's also a Strike Time video that has been released on the official Marvel Strike Force channel. We're not going to be covering this Strike Time video in this video, but I am going to do a separate video where I go over basically what they say, the gameplay footage, and I want to give my commentary on that, but that's going to be on a different one. So look forward to that if you're interested in that. Today, we're going to be going over the blog, but we're also going to be going over some of the things that have been happening and some of the news that has popped up as well, because some of it is a little bit scary, if you ask me, and I don't necessarily like it. So, if you want to know more, then if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. But also, before we start, I do want to talk about this. This is the RTA pass that started today. Some people were a little bit confused because it has a 14-day timer, and yeah, so the reason why that this is on well, I don't know why it's 2 weeks, but it is completable. So the ratings level was reduced from 250 to 125, which means the amount of XP that you need is cut in half per level. When you click on it, also the objectives stayed the same, I'm pretty sure. So the amount of daily XP that you're getting from this is 500, 650, 750 a day. So you just do 750 divided by 125. But with the weekly stuff as well, 1,000, 750, and 500. When you do 2 weeks of this, plus every single day of this, you get to about 120 levels. I believe that's also not including the daily objective thing as well. I think there's points in that. So all in all, there is more than enough to complete this. Some people were a little bit confused based on how many days were there. So I just wanted to clear that up. There is Nakia Shards in there if you happen to need her. I don't buy RTA passes. I think I've maybe bought one or two in my life, and I don't plan to do another one. Just wanted to raise that really quickly. Now, before we get to this blog, this has popped up. I believe it was Tana that first reported on this, and I want to report on this myself. Now, I saw this photo. It was circulated in my Discord a little bit, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me. That was my first thoughts when I saw this. So, if you look at it more closely, if we zoom in, you know, it says the tagline here, universal currency, and they look like power cores. But they're not power cores. So what's really interesting, I guess, is if you go to the store, we're going to talk about this too. If you look at the image that they use for the cores and you put it side by side with this photo here. Oh, power cores. So you can kind of see that, like, they're not the same icons, right? Even the original one, even if you were to, like, change the coloring a little bit, they're not the same icons over here. So it does suggest that they have models in set that they're actually going to come up with a new premium currency. And so what does that really mean, right? And that's a bit concerning for me. What do I do with my power cores, for example? Well, outside of using them for events, I also use them to unlock characters for free, like once a month, because I'm someone who gets quite a bit of power cores. Now, if they bring out a second event currency, what is that going to be for? Are they going to gate events? Are they going to make it so that maybe energy refreshes are for one currency, character orbs are for another? That is my biggest problem. We're going to talk about more about why this pisses me off towards the end of the video, because I do want to come back to this. But just let this kind of stew in your brain a little bit, because I don't like, not only did we have two strike passes or two passes, battle passes, but if they're coming out with a second premium currency, that really doesn't sit well with me. And so back in the store, do make sure that you are clicking on your claims. There is the 100 of red envelopes. The red envelope store is complete garbage in my opinion. 650 for the symbiote samples, and the free claim Friday for today, which is 5 shards of titania and 2,500 symbiote samples towards that web milestone, and of course the 7,500 justice medals, which we've always been getting on top of the stuff that you always do. So make sure you click those and make sure that you're aware of that it's up there. You do need to go to the web store daily, unfortunately, not only for milestones but also for reward clicking reclaim crap. So this is the official blog for today called Apocalypse Beckons, and now there is a strike time, like I mentioned. It's ongoing actually as I record this video. I am going to double back to this and do a separate video which will be released later about my thoughts about what they actually talk about and how they kind of how they kind of show him and showcase him, and my thoughts on what I'm seeing on the screen. You know, there's been in the past, actually, that characters have been shown, and they're not actually working as they're mentioned in the kits, and for example. So I do want to kind of do a bit of a deep dive analysis on that. You get a kind of a cool background here with the Horseman characters, and actually, if we can find the source for this, this is now the PS. This is how you find thumbnails, and you find this. And the reason why I want to blow this one up is because it shows the costume for Archangel right over here. What is this? He look. Is that? Let me know in the comments down below. I don't recognize that necessarily. Is that his Age of Apocalypse costume? Is this a brand new one? I don't know all of his costumes, but let me know in the comments. It could be brand new, frankly. So I don't know why I asked. But anyways, it looks not bad. It's kind of gray in color. Like I don't know. It doesn't stand out that much. It's very armor. Like his helmet has a very armor appearance there. And Apocalypse has a drill on his hand. Okay, cool. So let's jump back to the actual blog. So this is obviously going to do some lore background on Apocalypse if you don't know much about him. All of this is lore. Apocalypse features high health, focus, resist, making him one of the most durable characters in Marvel Strike Force. He's the first character that can apply Safeguard and immunity with an ability, and he also prevents enemies from spawning with Safeguard. Okay, Apocalypse becomes empowered with his ultimate ability, and his empowered basic ability, the Omega, hits for 60% of the target's max health, which will eliminate most enemies who are hit by his ultimate. He's the true Omega with his Horseman allies, but Apocalypse also gains the benefit by being allied with mutant, tech, and villain characters. So he has villain, global, mutant, support. It's funny, because all the best characters in the game are support characters, and so this is no different with Apocalypse. Unfortunately, for some who thought maybe he would have a dual tag, he is mutant only. So basic, the alpha, and I think some of this kit has been released already. I think Ton has kind of covered this a bit. You know, I didn't bother to in my own videos, but I'm going to just mention it briefly here as well. So attack primary target for 400% damage and 100% drain. That's really good. I think all of his attacks have 100% drain. Unavoidable, cannot be blocked, and he heals for 5% of his max health, and he gets offense up in speed afterwards. Or before he does the damage. So that's really, really good, and this is going to hit really hard because he is getting that beforehand. Even the ISO assist seems to get that too with like a striker ISO. Gain offense up and speed up. It's less damage, of course, but wow, he's actually getting the offense up and the buffs beforehand, which is really, really good. His special, Seismic Sands, 6... Wait, is he legendary? He doesn't have a legendary tag! That's really interesting. Well, maybe they must have missed that out, because he's definitely a No, maybe he's not a horseman, actually, because the others are horsemen. Yeah, I just noticed that. He doesn't have the legendary tag. At least it's not listed here. Take that for what you will, because that means if there's future legendary character stuff, that you could use him then. Interesting. Special Seismic Sands, 6 out of 6 cost, 350 piercing to the primary target with the, of course, the 100% drain. Ability block +1 up to a maximum of 2, and then adjacent for the same amount of piercing. Redistribute to your total squad evenly, so that's a lot of damage because it's piercing. Do the following for the character, all horseman allies and 2 non-horseman allies. Clear all negatives. Apply a +1 defense up. Safeguard and immunity. And the attack ignores defense up. Safeguard and immunity, really, really strong. It's only 1 turn, so it could be better, but I don't think anyone does do 2 turns. I'm not going to say that, because maybe there is. But 2 turns of safeguard would have been stellar, but here we are. Ultimate, the end is here. This is huge, huge cooldowns, but hey, turn 2, it looks like. Clear barrier on all enemies. Attack all enemies for 500% drain, damage, plus the full drain. Apply trauma to all enemies. Of course, so you got trauma, safeguard, the 2 sort of buffs and debuffs that are very specific to certain characters and legendary characters, and he's got both. Flip defense up on all enemies. Flip 2 random positive effects into negatives. Apply trauma to everyone. Does he do it twice? Because it's listed twice, but okay. Become empowered afterwards, and then fill speed bar for himself for basically a full turn bar. 60% plus 40% for the entire horseman team. This attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. His passive, the first mutant, he cannot be revived. Okay, that's okay, I guess. the speed of this character and each horseman ally can only be reduced by slow. So no Emma Frost shenanigans, essentially, is what they're saying. At the start of any match, enemy characters cannot spawn with safeguard. So FU, Infinity Watch, or anyone else off the top of my head that has safeguard. And this is anywhere. On spawn, gain immunity. Okay. On stun, clear the stun. This is very common with characters like Dormammu and Doom and things like that. Then heal them. Actually, this one heals. Gain 50% max health. 40% chance to counterattack with 15% for villain characters, so that's interesting. And then 10%, because not all of the horsemen are villains. Rogue is not, and Red Hulk is not, right? So gain 10% focus for each horseman, mutant, and tech ally. It's very minor. This is kind of like a bit of a nod, I guess, like a lore nod, because really, realistically, it's not a huge inclusion. Empowered basic, like I said, 60% of target's max health, ignores death proof, and killed by this attack cannot be revived. So it's a pretty strong attack. My question would be that when he's empowered, could the Striker ISO follow up with the exact same thing as he's still charged, or maybe he drops the charge? That might be explained in the actual strike time that I'll have to go over later. Destructive Diva, this is going to be no surprise here. This is Titania's February month-long event. I do want to kind of deep dive a little bit of this because I want to see if anything has changed from the existing event for, what's his name, US Agent. Trials of Strength, February the 2nd. Crusher of Heroes, that sounds like Absorbing Man, I think. February the 9th. And then February the 16th, Grand Theft Quantum. Sounds like, what's his name, Kang the Conqueror. And then He Who Remains on February 23rd, because we know that we have, there's also Moonstone, so I don't know actually which one would be first. I mean, Grand Theft Quantum is definitely probably going to be an event for, honestly, they're probably all in here somewhere. It's just based on the name. And then the other ones are, Quick Rumble? No, it's not actually. There's a lot of main milestone events now that I think about it. I don't know. There's a lot of events there and a lot of things for me to cover over the next couple of weeks. Quick Rumbles, it doesn't even say which ones they are. We could make some guesses, but I'm not going to. Coordinated Assault, of course, is back, even though everyone hates it. So I want to open this up. This is the month long, and I want to just self-absorbed. I'm just trying to, 750K again. They've changed. Oh my God. Okay, so it's hard to see. Let's jump back to this one. Down here. They've actually added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. So these are actually all main event milestone. Like they are. They have an item. Every single event has an item. So they've gone from 4 items to 7 items, and the points are redistributed differently. Whew. Now I haven't added up all of the orbs. I suspect that it's probably going to be the exact same as US Agent. It's going to be 16 orbs or whatever the number is, and it's going to be the same estimated value. Probably, that's my guess. And then there's, of course, going to be a leaderboard, which is going to reward blue 4 ions if you're 3 to 10%, or blue 5 if you're above that over here. And otherwise, don't expect much different. Trials of Strength. So this is the first event. First main event. We have Tangled Web on here for some reason. And I guess it's probably because we're getting shards for them. So we're getting month-long currency. You can see that the Rivals Mask is down here at 1.9 million. We're getting 5,000 points for opening a gold orb. Orb hoarding events are back. What the fuck? They've said in the past that they don't like when people do this. And now we're getting points for opening a gold orb, and it's only worth 5,000 points? We better be getting fucking points in here for the other shit. 1 raid credit for 1 point. And it's a 4-day event down here. And 1 gold orb is 5,000 points, and we need to get 1.9 million? Okay, now maybe I'm just not seeing things. I definitely am not going to be getting like 1.9 million of raid credits. Or even anywhere close in gold orbs at 5,000 points. Are they fucking mental? Now, I know that everything is subject to change in this game, but holy shit. What's wrong with them? Like, more and more every week, I've been less motivated because they've just fucking constantly screwed the player base, time, event and event and event again. And the rebirth events were fucking garbage. Like, am I over-exaggerating here? I don't think so. You know, I don't know where these numbers come from. Just, you know, hold on. Let me bring up a calculator. I didn't think I'd need to do this, but... Hypothetically, I mean, raid credits-wise, we've had raid credit events, right? And, like, I don't remember it being able to get any more than, like, 70,000, 80,000. And this is also 4 days. Let's just hypothetically... 380 gold orbs just to get the event item. Wow. Okay. What is this? No, that's a leaderboard. There's a fucking leaderboard. Of course there is, right? This is unbelievable. For a 4-day event? I'm pissed off. Alright, we got a Secret Avengers Quick Rumble. Quicksilver is coming into the game. Fan favorite Quicksilver will be headed to Marvel Strike Force and not so distant. He'll be the first new character we build to earn his shards from Cosmic Crucible. Honestly, not surprising. Like, nothing surprises me anymore. Quicksilver is a speed character. Is he going to be a solo character? Plug and play. Okay, let's slot nicely. He's probably not going to be mutant, because in the comics he's not really anymore. Start raking in Quicksilver shards. When is this happening? Probably the next patch, I guess, or soon. I don't even care. Morgan Le Fay, January the 30th. That's on Monday, I think, in 3 days. Yeah, that's Monday. Nothing new here. I think that's the same stuff. Costume shop additions, Loki and Shang-Chi. And a new Shang-Chi's Year of the Rabbit costume. Okay. I don't know where that is. I don't think his current one is that. Strike Pass. Dazzler. Sunfire and Dazzler for Strike Pass. Character availability. U.S. Agent in the Orbs coming soon. Deathpool will be removed from the Mega Orb. Great, thank you. Elite Store update. Getting Captain Carter in the Red Star store. Great. Free Claim Friday. We talked about this already. Weekly events. Ghost Splits on Monday. Ebony Maw. You don't need him. XP. Chaos Theory next week. Please note that everything in this game is fucking subject to change. This is the biggest load of shit. This event is fucking a load of shit. This next week's event, hold on to your pants. When does that start? February the 2nd. Thursday. So they're bumping the events back a day because this month events were starting on Wednesday, so they're giving a 1-day break. So now we're shuffling the monthly events from Wednesday to Thursday. So that means if anything, if nothing changes, expect this event video to go out on Wednesday morning because I always do things 1 day before. But of course, I think we're going to have a lot of shit to talk about over the next little while because I don't even know if Apocalypse can quell my rage at this point. Things might be the beginning of the end for this game because it's just honestly, things have been on the down for the last month, 2 months really, and I'm starting to lose my motivation for this, frankly. And it's hard to be positive when the ball just rolls down the hill. Honestly, I was going to talk about this some more, and I think that if they come out with a second premium currency that devalues my power cores, I'm out. Because power cores were the only real thing in this game that has allowed me to stay ahead of the curve, to kind of somewhat be on par with whales. And I don't want to say completely, but it has allowed me to unlock characters for free once a month. I got Agent Venom because I opened him through my core orbs, and I'm able to get, probably one new character a month based on my core accumulation that I get. And if they're somehow taking things away from me from what I was able to do in the past, I'm done with this game. That's all I have to say, everyone. I hope you all have a great weekend and keep an eye out on the channel for upcoming videos that we'll be talking about more and more. I'm actually, I'm kind of motivated to do videos to talk about all of this shit that's going down. So that's the end of this video. And until next time, everybody, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about all of this. Boilon signing out.